Carlos Mendoza joining us now on Foul Territory. Carlos, great to be with you. Thanks for doing this. What did you take away from that great homestand? Great fans, but more importantly, great performance on the field. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good to see you guys. Look, there's a lot to like about the homestand, about the way the guys are playing. I can sit here and pinpoint a lot of different things. Not only what we're doing on the field, how guys are getting along off the field and connecting and preparing and pushing each other, and then the fan base. I don't think it's a secret now. The support from our fans and going day in and day out to Citi Field, knowing that it's going to be packed, that it's going to be loud, that it's going to be electric. Definitely, we're feeling it in the dugout, and I'm pretty sure the other teams are feeling it as well.
Did it feel like the playoffs? Did it feel like they were packing it out like the playoffs from last year?
Definitely, 100%. And we didn't see this until late last year, obviously, because the way we got out of the gate, right? And we pretty much no expectations from the outside. But once we got to September and definitely into October, now from the first series of the season, it felt that way. It's packed. Over the weekend when we were playing the Cardinals, I think it was Saturday in the afternoon. It was packed. It was loud. It was just. It feels like a playoff game every day. Monday night was cold. We're playing. First game of the series against the Phillies, and I think it was like 35,000 people, and it was freezing. Yesterday, or Wednesday, weekday, school day, and it's another 35,000. I can't remember what it was. So it is a good feeling, man.
Mendy, can you give us a quick injury update? Alvarez is coming back. McNeil's coming back this weekend. And what about Diaz yesterday? First of all, I want to say this. It should have been that should have been a step-off violation because he did step off like 8 times before he pointed at his hip. Yeah. So is he okay?
Yeah, he's fun. I checked with him after the game. We were wondering in the dugout, like, what's going on in here? He keeps stepping off until he obviously called us, and I was like, oh boy, something's going on here. And we got to the mound, and he's like, I'm cramping up. My hip continues to, and that's why I continue to step off. So, I'm glad that the umpires got together because you got an injury player there, and he kept stepping off. So after the game, checked with him. He doesn't seem to be too concerned. The trainers don't feel like as of right now it's low level of concern. We're off today. We'll see where we at tomorrow. As far as the other 2 guys, we were waiting for them to check in Citi Field today. And if everything goes as planned, the expectations are that they're going to be in the lineup tomorrow.
Did you see? I don't know if it was true because I've been caught a couple times where it wasn't true. So I'm going to ask you. Did one of the trainers figured out that one of Diaz's legs was longer than the other? Was that a joke? Because that was awesome. If that's true and he fixed it, that would be awesome.
I got to get to the bottom of that.
Did you see that? You saw that, though, right?
I saw it. Of course I did.
Is that true?
I got to get to the bottom of it,
Honestly, that was my follow-up. That was my question, too. I was like, how does a trainer notice that one of his legs is shorter than the other? Does he just go over there and yank it out of its socket and make it even? I mean, how does that happen?
Yeah, I don't know. I seriously don't know. So, again, off day today. I'll see the trainers here pretty soon, and I'll get to the bottom of it.
Mendy, I owe you an apology. I remember when the Mets decided that they were going to let Buck go and they were going to hire you. I was like, wait a minute, I don't understand this at all. It was like, oh, this guy, I don't know the name as well as Buck Showalter. Buck Showalter's. I owe you an apology. You have been amazing, and these guys have really played well for you. And what I love about you is that you stand up for them in ways that's not dramatic. It's not showboating. It's not anything that's theatrical, but I really feel that your players feel that you have their back. What has been the biggest learning curve for you, and how much have you enjoyed what you're doing right now?
Well, I appreciate your words. Means a lot. It's not easy. Being a big league manager, you're going to go through some ups and downs. You're facing challenges every day. And I think it comes down to people and getting to know them and who they are and meet them who they are. You're dealing with human beings that coming from a lot of different backgrounds, and I think developing relationships, you can earn their trust. for me, as far as like the learning goes, I continue to learn every day. Now year two is a different feeling because the guys you get to go to work with, you get to battle with, whether it's coaches, support staff, and then obviously the players. We went through so much adversity last year that I think we really found out who we are behind the scenes, and like getting the opportunity to compete day in and day out with the group that we have is an honor, it's a pleasure, and something that I'm always looking forward to go to work. So again, always learning, always adjusting, and that's part of the job.
All right. Part of the adjustment this year is your pitching staff is a 2.3 ERA. You guys are 2.34 ERA as a staff. Who is the toughest to take out of the game? Because everybody's doing well, but there's always somebody that you're like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to go back out there. Like, he's going to be pissed when I take him out, but it's the best for the team. We got about like 6 more guys that have a 0 ERA in the bullpen to come in. Who's the toughest?
Well, for me, Kratzy, I want all of them to be pissed. If a pitcher is happy to come out of the game, we have issues, so. And I was very upfront with them from day one, spring training, in some of the conversations, and when I'm talking to them and building those relationships, that's part of the relationship, like getting to know the players, and them getting to know you as a manager, and then I'm not afraid to have the conversations afterward, whether it's the next day or after a game, and the reason why I made the decision. So none of those guys want to come out of the game. I got to give it to David Peterson. This is a guy that every time I could feel it yesterday. I was walking towards the mountain, he's staring at me like, "Don't do it." And sure enough, I signaled to the pen, and but he gets it. He's such a professional. He's such a competitor. Like, and that's what you want from your starters. Like they got to be feeling like I got to go here as deep as possible. And if, like I said, if they're happy that they're coming out of the game, I don't know that I want that as a manager.
Is this sustainable? Because that's going to be the question. I questioned the starting rotation once McNeil went down at the beginning of the season. You guys have blown that out of the water. Is this sustainable, and what does that look like for your sustainability? Because you hear teams like the Dodgers who are like, yeah, he could come back, but we just got to make sure he's 100% healthy. You guys have a little less depth than them, and you have to be able to make it through the entire season.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're pretty comfortable, and we got a lot of confidence on the guys that we have on the staff and the guys that we got down in AAA. We're talking about our team at the beginning of the year and how good the Mets could be and this and that. We knew we were good not only because of the superstars, but we knew we had depth. And we were tested out of the gate in spring training when we lost Manaya, when we lost Monta. But we feel really good with what we have. We believe in a lot of these guys. At some point we're gonna hit a stretch where it's not gonna be easy. And that happens in 162. Like it's hard to do what we're doing. But again, a lot of confidence on the guys. We're playing really good defense behind the guys here, and that goes hand in hand. Pitching and defense, and we're making plays. We're doing a lot of things fundamentally that are helping us win baseball games.
FT fam, I hope you have as much confidence as Penelope right now, who is an avid Spot and Tango fan, okay? And she uses the code FOUL, Kratz, because this is a personalized dog food subscription service that prevents you, of course, from going to the store to pick up the food, and she just gets the highest quality unkibble. That is what they're known for. And I know you love the quiz part of it too.
It's a super quick quiz, but it lets you give them the information and they tailor it to what is needed based on their age, size, activity level, all things that are custom for each and every one of your dogs.
Yeah, human grade ingredients in that unkibble. USDA meat, fruits, and veggies that are approved there. Upgrade your pet's bowl with Spot and Tango Unkibble. Go for it. For a limited time, go to spotandtango.com/foul. Use code FOUL to get 50% off your first order. That is spotandtango.com/foul. Code FOUL to get 50% off your first order at spotandtango.com/foul. Code FOUL.
What's it like with Soto? What's it like now? You have expectations. You mentioned expectations from last year and what you've learned. But what's it like, one, having Soto, and then two, now you got off to a hot start. You have expectations from you, your fans, your front office, everybody, right? So How do you manage those? Because you just said there's going to be a rough patch. So how do you manage expectations for everybody, not just on your team?
Enjoy it, embrace it. That's the way to go about it. It's New York. You know what you signed up for. I remember last year people were talking about the Mets like, there's always going to be expectation. It's a big market. The fan base is very passionate, and they want a title really bad. So for me, I think you can't run away from it. You have to embrace it. You have to enjoy it, and look at us. We have a really good opportunity right here to do something special. Juan Soto, great guy. We know the player, but just watching him prepare, watching him going about his business, how he meticulous he is with his routine in the cages, the way he sees the game, very consistent, even keel, doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. So it's been a pleasure to be around him.
You have to have a conversation with him after he said what he said about, well, I don't have Aaron Judge hitting behind me anymore. Like or hitting in front of me or hitting around me in the lineup. Do you have to have a conversation with a superstar? Or if somebody that wasn't a superstar said the same thing, do you have to have a conversation with that person?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I have to have a conversation. It happened, it happens organically, and I did have it, but it was just more like conversation, having lunch the very next day. I was like, man, like you answer that question, it came from your heart. You were pretty honest, and before you know it, there's a headline. That's not, we all know, that's not. I mean, he was asked a question, hey, you feel like you've been pitching differently, and he honestly answered the question and say, yeah, everybody knows it. But it became a big deal. So this was after the day after we were having lunch, and that's how it happens, the conversations. But it's New York, and you just gotta know that even though he's coming from a good place, it could be a big deal.
Carlos, I feel like the manager's job is 10% actually putting the lineup together and managing during the game. I feel like 90% of your job is stuff that fans don't even see. How much do you need to be a psychiatrist? Because not all 26 guys on your roster are motivated the same way. Do you feel that you have to, kind of massage guys in a different way based on how they're motivated?
100%. And you're absolutely right. Like, every manager's going to make decisions in games. You're going to bring the lefty, you're going to bring the righty, you're going to make out the lineups, and decisions are going to work, and sometimes they're not going to work. I think the biggest thing is just dealing with 26 guys and how to get the best out of them. How do you put them in a position where you feel like they're going to have success? But I'm going to go back to the beginning of the conversation, getting to know the players as person, as humans, so you can put them in certain positions, how they're going to handle different roles, guys that are not playing every day, keeping those guys active, keep them, somehow positive, guys that are going through a rough stretch. Like, you have the mental part of the game for me is the number one priority. So I really take the time day in and day out to make sure I'm communicating, that I'm connecting with a lot of them. And I use the coaches as well. I have a really good coaching staff that help me navigate this situation. And it's fun.
Mendy, you mentioned navigating situations. When did you guys get to DC? Because you guys are on the road. Did you guys go last night after the game, or did you go in the morning?
Last night. We came over
so you spend the off day on the road.
Off day on the road, yes.
Now, how do you spend that off day? What do you do besides coming on foul territory, which we love? But what else do you sit around and you have a clipboard and you look at, like, well, I have McNeil and Alvarez coming back. I got to figure out who we're going to get rid of. Do you sit there and do you just try to wipe your mind of it and worry about that tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll have the conversation, like I said, later on with David. We will have an idea. But you're just trying to enjoy it. Beautiful day here in DC. About to have a lunch with the trainer, so I'll find out about Diaz, the situation. And then I'll do the same with some of the coaches at night. I don't have the family with me now. I just like to get here and enjoy the day and then get ready for tomorrow.
All right. So obviously they're coming back. You're going to have to fire somebody. You're going to have to option somebody down. As somebody that got optioned down 103 times in my career, do you feel like you need to tell those guys ahead of time, like, hey, when these guys come back, we don't know what's going to happen, but it could be you? Because you know what it looks like in the clubhouse. You know those guys are sitting there going, all right, well, it could be me. McNeil may play center field. He may play second. I'm playing some center field. I'm playing some second left. You know, do you feel like you have to have those conversations, or do you just say, you never know what's going to happen the day before? I'm never going to tell anybody what could possibly happen.
Yeah, I hate to do that and put an extra pressure on a player, and just you know how hard this game is, Kratzy, and then to go up to a player and say, "Hey, man, it could be you." I don't know that as a player, I want that. Like they have so much to worry about. They have to prepare. They have to go out and compete every day while they're active. And as a player, you have an idea. Hey, man, this could be me, but you can't worry about that. That's out of your control. And a lot of the times, there's some tough decisions, and here we are facing a really tough one, because we got a lot of players that are performing and are playing well, but we're also getting two guys that are a big part of this team. So it's a business, but I try not to put too much on their place.
Going back to Diaz for just a second, because I still can't get over this whole one leg is longer than the other. What is the weirdest injury that you've been around this game a long time? You're a good baseball man, good baseball mind. What's the weirdest injury that you've ever noticed besides uneven legs?
Yeah, that's a good question. You kind of caught me off guard here. Diaz, my top that whatever we have here, for him to experience something like that and comes out of the game, and then he's telling people that, hey, yeah, they noticed this. I don't know that anything can beat that.
Carlos, when you said you're going to lunch with the trainers and then you're going to eat with your coaches. You obviously, since you're the manager of a playoff team last year, you're in first place, best record in baseball. You're ponying up the dough, right? You have to pay?
Yeah, the team helps out with that at times.
Oh, expense reports.
Oh.
Okay.
You never know. It's always good to spend time with the guys,
What? By the way, before we let you go, Eric Chavez made a lot of money. He's on your staff, so don't be afraid. He's the highest paid A's player of all time. So
yeah, he's usually step up. He's I gotta give it to him. He hit a lot of homers. So
what did he say to Lindor? Did he say something? Was it last year when Chavez grabbed Lindor? Was it this year? And he's like, "I need you to be better." Do you know? Have you heard that story?
Yes, I don't know. That came out today or something.
It came out late yesterday.
Yeah, I think it was last year for sure. Because I remember when we were out of the gate, when we were struggling. I remember having a conversation with Chavez, and he was like, "Man, I'm gonna talk to Lindor." So yeah, that's what when I'm gonna go back to when I'm referring to using my coaches. Chavez right there, with all of them. He has your back, and he means well, and he cares about the players, he cares about the game, and he wants to win. But yeah, that was last year. I think we were in April or so when that happened.
Carlos, it's always great to talk to you. We love to have the insight of the manager. Continued success. I'm glad that I was an idiot and was wrong when I was questioning the move. They made the right move, and can't wait to see what you guys do the rest of the way. And if you ever run into some cash problems, just ask Steve Cohen to give you an allowance. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Carlos Mendoza.
That's a good one.
Of the New York Mets, thank you for taking the time to be on Foul Territory. We'll see you soon.
Have a good one.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.